with a toddler that hits can be incredibly challenging and upsetting. But fortunately, there are specific steps that you can take to stop your toddler lashing out, which I've used throughout my nannying career to great success. When you know the steps to take, you can stop this unwanted behaviour in its tracks. So stay tuned to learn how to bring peace back to your home and to stop your toddler hitting in just 3 steps. So step number 1 is understanding the behaviour. So why do toddlers hit? First and foremost, toddlers hit because they live in the moment and they lack impulse control. They're not developmentally ready yet to think of consequences or to plan ahead. So when something upsets them in the moment, they lash out. It's as simple as that. Another reason they hit is because they don't understand yet that it's bad or that it hurts anybody. They also don't have the language yet to express themselves in any other way. Especially when it's in the heat of the moment and they might have to think about what to say, their natural reaction is to often hit out. Another common reason why toddlers hit, and if you have a toddler around, you'll know this, is they are just testing limits. With their newfound desire for independence and the fact that they are just going to constantly try and push boundaries, they may just be hitting to see what your reaction is. And finally, this is really important. Be aware of what they have seen. Don't underestimate what they are seeing on screens. That's why it's so important that you are always present when they are watching something on a screen. They may have witnessed something on a screen that you're not aware of that has shown them hitting, and that they might be just trying it out to see, well, it worked when I saw it on the screen, so maybe I'll just try it out. So what do we do when our toddlers start hitting? How do we manage that behaviour in a positive and proactive way? So if your toddler hits, top of the list is you must immediately step in and make eye contact and make it clear that hitting is not okay. So this means you do not shout from across the room. You need to be present in the moment and giving clear direction. You need to get down to their level, look them in the eye, put a hand on either arm gently, and you need to say, I understand that you're angry, frustrated, whatever it is that triggered it, but it's not okay to hit. And you say that very firmly. You don't shout, you keep calm, but it has to be very, very firm. And you need to make it very clear that this is unacceptable behaviour. The next stage, once you have explained hitting is not okay, is to give them an alternative now. So you say that we use gentle hands, and then you show them how. Anything to show them an alternative to hitting, and that hands are for gentle touching, and that's what you do with them. And then it's really good to give them the opportunity to almost make amends, so you can end on a positive note. So once you've shown them how to do it, get them to do it. Get them to join in, get them to stroke the pet gently, to be gentle with their sibling or their friend. It's also a good idea to tie their actions to others' feelings, because a toddler is learning empathy. So you can say to them, when you hit Timmy, you hurt him and you made him feel sad. So they can tie what you're telling them to the action that they made. Now, if you think that your toddler's not going to take on board what you've said and you are anticipating another bout of hitting, you can issue a warning. And that is, if you hit again, then you will need to either be removed, have the toy taken away, or have to go to another part of the room. So you could, for instance, say, if you hit again, then you're going to have to go and play over there in the corner. Or if you hit again, I'm afraid you can't play with that toy anymore. And then what's really important is that you follow through with this boundary afterwards. So if they do hit again, you need to remove them immediately. Even if they're kicking and screaming, it does not matter. They need to understand that you did lay down a boundary and that you followed it through. So now in step 3, and this is a really important step, these are the things that you can do to prevent hitting from happening in the first place, to preempt it, if you like. So when you're at home and you're talking to your toddler, you can talk about sharing, you can use books, and you can chat about sharing and taking turns, because this is primarily where these issues happen. And you can give them the words to use. Their comprehension is far beyond their ability to talk. And obviously some younger toddlers are not going to be able to put together these sentences, but some will. So you can say to them, when you want to play with something, you should ask your friend or your brother and sister, can I please play with the truck? Or can I please have a turn? These are phrases that they can learn and you can teach them. and you teach them in moments that are not all fraught with the actual event. You teach them away from those explosive situations. Now, if you've got a younger toddler that's language hasn't developed as far as that, then teach your toddler to come and find you. Explain to them that if they're in a difficult situation and they're feeling frustrated or they're angry, that they need to come and find you and explain to you, because you're likely to understand what the situation is. They need to understand that you are there to help them navigate these tricky situations when their emotions can start getting overwhelming. Now, practice taking turns and sharing when you're at home. It's tricky because children under the age of 3 really struggle to take turns and share. It's a concept developmentally that they struggle with. However, it doesn't mean that you can't practice it when they're a bit younger than that. So play ball games where everyone has to take a turn. Play simple board games in the home where they can also take turns and they have to wait. All those things will help them with dealing with frustration and having to wait when they want something. You should always praise your little one when they get it right. It's important that they know when they've had a success. So when you see them managing a difficult situation without hitting, make sure that you acknowledge that they did that and that they handled it really well, because it'll make them feel good and they're more likely that they will repeat that behavior moving forward. If you can see that your toddler needs to get rid of all that physical energy and they're more likely to start lashing out and they're sort of bouncing off the walls, then you need to give them an alternative. Encourage them to go outside and kick a ball, jump on a trampoline, do something really physical. Also in the house, if it's not possible to go outside, you can have a game, punching pillows or having a pillow fight or doing it with cushions or something physical that it's safe for them to have that physical outlet. And you'll be able to tune into when your toddler's feeling on the edge a bit, where you think it's more likely that they might lash out. And that's the time to step in and give them a good physical activity to do to get rid of that energy. You should also learn their triggers and monitor the environment. So you know your toddler better than anyone else. And if they have started hitting, you'll know the things that they're more likely to lash out at. So keep an eye on that so that you can step in and either divert or deal with the situation before it actually happens. Also keep an eye on the fact that if they're tired or hungry, they are also more likely to hit out. So don't arrange play dates or leave them in a position where they're more likely to get angry and frustrated. If you know they're tired and hungry, that you're really going to need to keep an eye on them. To prevent power struggles and selfish behaviours, I always recommend that if you're having a play date, that you should put your toddler's favourite toy away. If they've got something they're particularly attached to, don't expect them to share it. It's better to suggest that it gets put away in their bedroom and that it comes out after they've played. Then they're not having to push themselves in order to try and share it. It's best that it's out of sight, out of mind, and then you're not going to have a situation where the friend wants to play with the precious toy. And you can't expect your toddler to share it. It's their most precious thing in the whole world. Don't set them up to fail. Make sure you've put it away somewhere. Finally, model good management of anger and frustration in the home. Your toddler is going to watch you and how you manage those emotions, and they will learn from you. You are always your child's best teacher, and you'd be surprised how much they can pick up. So let them see you manage those emotions healthily and effectively, and they will learn from it. And again, I'll reiterate this again, be mindful of what they're watching on screens. The home needs to be a place where anger and frustration is managed in a healthy and appropriate manner. And it's up to you to create that environment for them so they can learn from it. By managing your toddler's hitting and modelling and teaching healthy alternatives to express their feelings, the hitting phase should be short-lived. In the description box below, there's a link to a helpful post on toddler sharing and turn taking that you'll find on the Teething to Tantrums website, and it's really worth a read. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and thank you for watching.